Pat Masterson, sponsored by Seal Test. And Staccato, sponsored by R.J. Reynolds, will not be seen tonight so that we may bring you the following special program. The Bob Hope Buick Show, with these stars as guests. Natalie Wood, the Crosby Brothers, David Rose and his orchestra, and special guest Dean Martin. Presented by the Turbine Drive Buick 60 by General Motors, Buick LeSabre, Buick Invicta, Buick Electra, Buick at its all-time best. And now, here is the star of our show, Bob Hope.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of America, and also Rostichik Prashchaya. They stopped jamming, you know. Now, I'm happy to be back on television, a new season, and I want to tell you I can't shoot a gun, I can't ride a horse, and I'm not a private eye. But here I am, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Frontier Coward. No, I'm really delighted to be back with Buick again. It's a very pleasant association. They just gave me a new Buick, although I wish they'd waited till the steel strike was over. I have automatic windows and no doors. I do hope you enjoy our first show. We were supposed to be in color this year, but the peacock turned chicken. But we're back. And I want to tell you, this has been some month, hasn't it? The Russians hit the moon, the Dodgers won the pennant, and Bing had a filly. Yes, sir. And you know, it's hard to believe any of them. No, the Russians aren't sure whether they hit the moon or wounded Vaughn Monroe. And how about those Dodgers? What a pennant race. After the last game, they had to send the whole city to the showers. But this has been a great climax to a very exciting summer. Just think of this summer. Nixon went to Russia, Ike went to Europe, Khrushchev came over here, and Khrushchev went to China, and Ike went to Palm Springs. No wonder the UN can't do anything. They can't find anybody. After the Camp David meeting, Ike went to Palm Springs to get rid of a cold. He shook the headache a couple of weeks ago. Ike wanted some peace and quiet, and La Quinta is the perfect place for him. It's a perfect hideaway. The Russians can't find it, the Democrats can't afford it. You won't believe it, but La Quinta is so expensive and so plush, Howard Hughes was picked up on vagrancy charges at it. Did you read the papers? You know, the president must have lost at golf at La Quinta because I understand he cooks the meals there. Couldn't even afford a TV dinner. How about that? No, he's a pretty good cook, and you have to give him credit. It isn't easy turning a steak over with an 8-iron. Ike had to learn to cook for himself. Have you ever tried Army food? No, with the president cooking, it must be kind of tough on the guests. If you reach for a Tums, you can be arrested for treason. Anybody who burps is a spy. I don't know, I've never tasted his cooking, but I played 9 holes with one of his meatballs. For dessert, he served a lovely upside-down cake. Well, it wasn't supposed to be upside down, but when she heard Ike was making it, Betty Crocker flipped. And wait till Khrushchev finds out the plans he swiped from Blair House is just Ike's recipes for brownies. I want to tell you seriously, I was glad to hear that Ike and Khrushchev settle a lot of their world problems during their talks at Camp David. I'd hate to go to war over Disneyland, wouldn't you? I would. But I think they should have let him see Disneyland. After all, he missed Congress, and he should have... He was sure sore about Disneyland, but maybe the State Department was right. Now, suppose he'd have gone and gotten a box of Cracker Jacks without a prize. World War III, there you are. And we just found out what it cost us for Khrushchev's visit, $150,000. Why can't we pay our comedians that kind of money? I've never seen so many Secret Service men. There were so many guards around Khrushchev, his spies couldn't get through to report. No, he really was well guarded. Once he squeezed his toothpaste too hard and J. Edgar Hoover came out. Khrushchev couldn't understand it. He said, "What do I need all this protection for? You'd think I was in Russia." And they doubled the guard at Camp David. What precautions? They threw Ike out twice. Talk about protection. Khrushchev called out goodnight to Gromyko in the next room, and the lamp answered goodnight. Khrushchev said, "I wasn't talking to you," and the chair said, "I didn't say anything." He had quite a trip over here, but I wish they'd taken him to Las Vegas so he could see democracy in action. Yes, sir. He would have seen... They'd have taken him to Vegas, he'd have seen capitalists being made into workers. Of course, in Iowa, he made a long speech in the middle of a cornfield. They expect a big crop next year. Here to join me in the introduction of Buick for 1960 is a friend of mine, Mr. Wed Howard.
Thank you, Bob. Today, the 1960 Turbine Drive Buick went on display all across the country. It's our privilege to personally invite you to drive this great new car during the next few days. Tonight, the Buick Motor Division and your Buick dealer proudly present the television premiere of the Turbine Drive Buick 60. The way it looks. The way it feels. The way it rides. This is Buick 1960. The Turbine Drive Buick 60. From the new distinctive front grille and lower look of its tapered hood, through the new clean line of its sculptured contour, all around, this is Buick's all-time best. All around, Buick is a beautiful automobile, and more. Take the feel of it. And ride of it. Its smart, new, luxurious interior. All around, Buick is a lot of automobile. The Sabre Buick at its lowest price. Invicta, the high-performance Buick. Electra Buick at its finest. The Turbine Drive Buick 60 by General Motors. Buick at its all-time best.
For 1960, Buick offers you an exciting new experience in driving pleasure. One reason, the most advanced type of transmission ever made. Buick 60's Turbine Drive transmission. Basically, you know, there are three kinds of transmissions: manual, automatic, and turbine. With the manual type, you transfer power from one gear to the other with a hand gear shift. Most foreign cars still offer only the manual shift. With the ordinary automatic transmission, the gears are shifted for you. Most American cars are this type now. You know when it shifts because you can hear it and feel it. The third type is Buick's Turbine Drive transmission. It's more advanced because when the car is in drive, gear shifting of any kind is eliminated altogether. The flow of power is continuous, smooth, uninterrupted, because shifting gears have been replaced by turbines driven by a swift current of oil. Turbine Drive transmission, yours in Buick 1960. And what a difference you'll notice when you get behind the wheel. You'll feel immediately the smoothness, the quietness, the quick, instant response to the pressure of your foot on the accelerator. Yes, there's an exciting new experience awaiting you in Buick's all-time best, available in 3 great series.
The Sabre Buick at its lowest price. Invicta, the high-performance Buick. Electra Buick at its finest. The Turbine Drive Buick 60 by General Motors. Buick at its all-time best.
Oh! This is not what we mean by turbine drive, but this is. And it's the smoothest driving car on the road today. The Turbine Drive Buick 60.
In a few more days, all of the new cars will have been introduced. And as you see them, remember, only in a Turbine Drive Buick 60 will you be able to get the classic dignity and simplicity of Buick's beautiful new styling. Turbine Drive transmission, the most advanced type of transmission ever made. Buick's exclusive fin-cooled aluminum brakes with stopping power and reliability unsurpassed by the brakes on any other American car. It's Buick's all-time best. No other car in Buick's class can give you so much in styling and performance, and most of all, in quality. Available in 3 great series. LeSabre, Buick at its lowest price. Invicta, the high-performance Buick. Electra, Buick at its finest. Turbine Drive Buick 60 by General Motors.